Okay, welcome in. I'm going to continue my 32 and 32. This time I'll be previewing the Ottawa Senators. So last year they finished with 37 wins, 41 losses, and 4 overtime losses for overtime slash shootout losses for 78 points. They were 21-18-2 at home, which isn't terrible, but on the road they were 16-23-2. So not as successful away from home compared to when they were at home, if that makes any sense. So for last year, that would have made it 7 straight seasons where the Ottawa Senators missed the playoffs. Can that streak finally come to an end? I will make my prediction at the end of the video. So as always, I'll take a look at their roster and see who was on it from last year and who is still there and who they have signed. But before I get into that, I do want to take a look at their draft. So they finished with the 7th worst record. They would draft Carter Yakimchuk, I believe, a defenseman out of Calgary, which is in the WHL. So I'm sure he has a bright future moving forward. So when it comes to the forward positions, they have signed Michael Amadio, who formerly played with the Vegas Golden Knights. He has signed with the Ottawa Senators. Drake Batherson has 3 years left to go on his deal. Let's take a look at the rest of this list. Wyatt Bongiovanni is there. Tyler Boucher is there. Jake Chassian, I believe is how you pronounce his name, is there. Rourke Chartier is not on this list, so unless he's in the AHL, I don't think he's a member of the Ottawa Senators. Nick Cousins was signed over from Florida. Angus Cruikshank is there. Philip Doust is there. Adam Gaudette is there. And Claude Giroux is coming into the last year of his deal. So I'm sure if he has a decent season and if for some reason the Sens are not in a playoff position, I'm sure he'll be on the trading block by the time it gets near. Noah Gregor, I believe, was signed from the San Jose Sharks. Riley Gregg has a year left to go on his contract. Stephen Halliday is a member of the Sens. Matthew Highmore has re-signed with Ottawa. Hayden Hodgson is there. Jen Jenik is there. So I don't think that Imama has come back. Matthew Joseph, I believe, has been traded. He still had 2 years left to go on his contract, but I'm pretty sure he got traded away. Who is next on the list? Mark Kaselchik, I believe, was traded as well. He's not on this list, and he still had a year left to go on his deal. Boris Kachuk is not coming back. There's a lot of people not coming back. Holy cow. Patrick Kelly, again, he's not coming back either. Dominic Kubalik, I don't know if he's been signed, but he has definitely not been re-signed by the Sens. Zach McEwen is there, so he has 2 years left to go on his contract. Josh Norris has 6 years left to go on his deal. Zach Ostapchuk, if I pronounced that name correctly, has 2 years left to go on his deal. They have signed David Perron. Garrett Pylon, I believe, is there. Shane Pinto on your screen, I believe, has re-signed. Jamison Rees is there as well. Cole Reinhardt is a member of the Sens. Tim Stutzel has 7 years left to go on his contract. And Brady Tkachuk has 4 years left, the captain, on his deal. So it seems like maybe half of the roster has gone, but we'll see how competitive they can be this upcoming season. So when it comes to the defense, Andrew Andovitsky is a member. The person you can see on your screen, Jacob Bernard Docker, has a year left to go on his contract. Brandstrom, I believe, has not re-signed. Thomas Chabot has 4 years left to go on his deal. Jacob Chechurkin, his contract was traded, or he has been traded away. Who else do we have? So Jeremy Davies is there. Jorian Donovan is a member. Maxime Gunet is a member there. Thomas Hamara is there as well. Travis Hamonic has a year left to go on his contract. They have signed Nick Jensen over from the Washington Capitals, I do believe. Kyler Clevin is a member. Nicholas Mantapalo is there. Philip Roos is there. Jake Sanderson. His contract did expire last year, but he has re-signed on an 8-year, $8.05 million contract. Donovan Sebaranjo is there. Debril Tour is there. Carter Yakimchuk is there. And last but not least, Artem Zub has 3 years left to go on his deal. Now, for goaltending, the biggest change, I'll get to that in just a second, but Anton Forsberg is going to be one of the two tandem goalies. He's coming into the last year of his deal. They do have Levi Merolainen. They also have Mats Sogert, who I believe is in the AHL. And then they also traded away Jonas Korpisalo to the Boston Bruins for Linus Ullmark. So Ullmark, no doubtedly, will be the number one goalie for the Ottawa Senators, which should improve this team. Between the couple of additions that they have done for this season, Ottawa has to be better. They have to be in the playoff hunt. They have to be close, because if they go 8 years without making it to the postseason, and say teams like Montreal go ahead of them or Buffalo stays ahead of them, then who knows how the backlash is going to be if this team is not successful moving forward. Now, they weren't terrible last year. They just got off to a very poor start. I'm going to make a bold prediction. I say they're in the hunt this year. They have to be in the hunt. Like, there's no more rebuilding, retooling. This team has to be competitive moving forward. But can they? That's the big question. I don't know. Like, to me, Ottawa is a big question mark. Like I said, they're not tanking. They're not at the bottom of the league. They did have the 7th pick, I believe, in the draft. Let me just double check. Yeah, they had the 7th pick in the draft. So they're still in the bottom 10. But for their expectations for this year, they have to be, like I said, they have to be in the middle of the pack. There's no excuse for this team moving forward. Ullmark is a fantastic goalie. He just won the Vezina 2 seasons ago, so he can be very good. And I think for the longest time, goaltending was like an Achilles heel for Ottawa. They never really had a number one guy for a long time. So for Ottawa, I say no, but they should be better, and they should be competing till the end of the season for a playoff spot. They can squeak in, then they should, because the expectations are so high for this team. But there's just so many, they've been so inconsistent over the years, and I'm sure injuries play a factor as well. But now that they finally have their number one goalie, they have to build around them. They have to be better around them. Like, their defense has to step up. Their offense has to step up. They have to be better on special teams, whether it's the penalty kill or the power play. Like, the expectations to get back in the playoffs should be more realistic than not. But again, that Atlantic division is just extremely crowded with teams such as Florida and Toronto and Boston. I think those 3 teams are going to be very good this year, just like they have been for many years in the past. So I don't think Ottawa can crack the top 3 of the Atlantic, but they should try for at least a wild card position. So for Ottawa, again, the expectations are extremely high, but if I had to say yay or nay, I say it's nay, only because of the past and the inconsistency. Again, they have improved their goaltending, but have they improved enough on their defense and on their offense to make it back into the postseason after 7 long years? If I had to make my prediction, like I said before, I'd say no, but really, it should be yes. Alrighty, that takes care of my preview for the Ottawa Senators for this 2024-25 campaign. As always, if you're new to this channel and you like this type of content, feel free to hit the sub button. I'd be very grateful and very appreciative. Until next time, and as always, take care.